was going to say we have a special guest. It's going to be a surprise. But surprise. Officer Brian, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, guys. Always a pleasure to be back on here with y'all.
That's awesome. Thomas, how about you? I love the background.
'Tis the season. I'm so excited. Not Relevant Podcast, Season 2, Episode 40. Well over 100 episodes
in the books
for the podcast. And we still have people here watching.
And they still don't know what we're doing this or what it's about or why we do it or anything else.
And Gally Mae nailed it right out the gate. Whoa! And on time. We nailed it.
AES was first in chat tonight, and he was first in chat this morning. And it was like a 12-hour stream. And
long day.
That means he works all day and all night because he has it over the overnight shift. I'm not sure. Is AES a guy or a girl? I don't know.
Or a bot.
Or a bot because you won.
It's the internet.
Congratulations, AES. First in chat. You had a couple. Let's see if I can do this real quick. Gaily Mae gifted 1 membership. Thank you very much. Red Pen gifted possibly 10, possibly 5. It's not sure. It might have been 10. Nice. Looks like 10. Came in 2 different minutes apart. Hopefully that wasn't a oops, I double clicked. Red Pen. Jennifer Booniper says asking for prayers for our friends Melissa P and Matthew P as he has his first treatment tomorrow. Love this amazing supportive community. Thank you very much. Wonderful couple. Heart goes out to them. Just in prayer and everything else, just support that everything works out just beautifully, and they get him on the mend.
Yes, down there in Florida, in the middle of all that, they were dodging the hurricanes, and they had appointments canceled, but then they got one scheduled early, which was a blessing, so they got to get in there. So hopefully that's the trend. The blessings for them continue. 100%.
That's a good start.
Yeah. So what a week. Trial has been crazy for those that are here. Obviously, all watch trial with Scott all day long, and what a day today was. So glad to be here on the podcast to bring some light to the end of the week.
Some levity. The day started great. And it was just like, this is what it was like NASCAR with all the wrecks, but it was court.
That's what I'm watching for.
That's what I'm here for. That's why I'm here, and this is great.
Yep.
And then it ended with like, oh my goodness, it keeps going. And it's like, I can't watch this. I can't listen to this. It's so depressing and just horrible. And that's where we left it. So
leave on a high note, as always.
I mean, you've got to give the prosecution props because for effectiveness, that's what the jury's thinking about overnight. That's just sticking in their head. And so that was very well orchestrated schedule wise that way. But unfortunately, that's also what we're thinking about all night, which is not as good.
But now we'll move on to everything that's not relevant.
Yes, now we're going to go not relevant.
Yes.
So long week of court. Brian, how was your week? What were you up to? I didn't get to join on Tuesday. How did Tuesday night's CPA class go?
From what I was told, it went well. I was actually not there myself. Me and my wife actually had a follow-up doctor's appointment in Dallas-Fort Worth, which is about 2 hours from where we live. So I had coverage that night. But from what I told, it went really well. They did a crime scene investigation, like we call them ID techs, people that collect evidence, take pictures, do measurements. And we actually had detectives there talking about old cases and how well they work together.
Cool. And those ID techs, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's a civilian role among the PD, right?
It is. They are not sworn personnel. They are people that just want to be involved in the mix. And honestly, in my opinion, they're like up there with dispatchers and high regards because they make or break a case.
And what's crazy too, as much as we watch trials and cases, they're not sworn. They get trained for what they do, but it's a little bit different than a sworn officer that has years of experience in that. And then they get called to testify. And now you've got an average Joe who's like, I want to help my community. I'm going to serve with the PD, but I don't want to be a sworn officer. So I'm going to just go over here and do a little dirty work and help them out. And then 2 years in, they get a subpoena and they're like, what? I got to sit as a witness? No, I didn't sign up for that.
I was the ride along. I was just the ride along.
I always think about that because I see that's a position that's often hiring here with the local PD. And I actually looked at it one point in time when I always wanted to be an officer, but decided I just can't at this point in time. I thought, oh, maybe that. And then obviously not.
I don't want to do it. because it's an on call. It's an on call thing too. So, I mean, some of these ladies have been amazing, been doing it for years. They love what they do. I mean, they'll work a 8-hour shift, go home, get comfortable, and then get called out and be out on a crime scene for another 8 to 12 hours. And guess what? Go home, shower, and try to come back the next day. Like it's gnarly.
Golly.
That's too much.
Yeah.
Overtime would be good, but there's a point in time when the overtime versus sleep wrestling match doesn't even out.
Do I need to collect those Care Bears over there? Where you talk about? I see Care Bears over there. Like, you don't see those? Sleep deprivation, man.
All delusional. Oh man, it's wild. Learning so much from watching trials that I thought I knew being on the police advocate side, and then when I watch trials, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's stuff that I would hate as a peace officer that I wouldn't have thought about if I signed up for it. That would come later, and I go, oh, I'm out. Can't do it. It's I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I used to work on call. All that taught me is to always answer my phone, and I still have that characteristic. I'll answer my phone. I'll answer the burner phone at like 2:00 in the morning when somebody's called. They're like, wow, you really answered. I'm like, I did.
God,
but
kudos to you, man. My phone stays on vibrate. I'll deal with it in the morning.
100%. My phone has not made a sound in 7 years.
Is it broken?
No, it's an iPhone 8. It's a tank. The only thing that happens is now this is a new thing within the last 2 years. I have the Apple Watch, so it'll give me a little pulse. And so what I'll do is I'll look. If it's important, then I'll pull my phone out of my pocket and answer. If it's not, I'll just leave the phone in the pocket and keep on going. It's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I do the same. I got my Fitbit. I can look at it and be like, I'll get back to it later.
I gave my watch to my son.
Oh.
And you also gave a phone number out to the internet.
When I did
your burner number.
Oh, I did. But the watch I disconnected from my phone, so you can't reach him. But
did you get annoyed?
No, it kept telling me I was like, it was worried about my heart and stuff like that. I'm like, look, I don't need this sort of stress.
Oh, I turn all that.
don't tell me I need to stand up and walk around and all this other stuff.
You don't know my life.
I got to the point.
Off.
It was telling me that it's time to stand and everything, and I just hang my arm down at the side of my chair. It's like, congratulations, you met your stand goal. I'm like, I'd rather just not know than be like lying to my watch about what I'm doing. So.
True. Let's see. Chat mom texted me, and Josh is saying in chat that Scott, you and I are low. I turned high.
Man, I hear y'all coming through loud for me.
Have you guys checked your ears? Just
yeah, I think chat. They might be going deaf from listening all day long.
We listen to a police body cam and 911 call recordings for 2.5 hours. So there's very little we can hear right now.
Wind noise. It's crazy. Back to the watch real fast. One thing that cracks me up is, so I take my motorcycle for a ride every weekend, and at a certain point in time, I'll get a boop, 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 and I look down and it thinks I'm on a bicycle ride. So I hit yes. I just hit yes and continue on my route for the day to see how many calories it says I burned, how fast I've gone at times.
You were pedaling at 65 miles an hour
for 3 hours. Yeah. Oh,
the worst is when you're driving it, then the GPS thinks you're walking.
I haven't had that happen. Were you stuck in rush hour?
In South Carolina. I was just like driving through the streets, and there's like debris on the side of the roads and stuff. I'm like, and it's navigating, and so when it navigates you on walking, it's a different path because it's like the shortest path you can walk through. So it'll send you down alleyways and things like that. The car doesn't fit, and so I have to like cancel and then redo it and say I'm in a car, avoid tolls, and then go.
Too much work, y'all. Fitbit, no sponsorship.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor, but
how are they better? What are they?
Battery. I can go like 7 days without having to charge this thing. Like I do sleep, and of course I get notifications when someone's calling, someone texts, or social media, and that's all I need. I don't need to talk and monitor all the stuff. And of course, like Thomas was saying, you can turn off a lot of stuff, but for me, it's the battery life. I go a good 7 days without having to charge it.
But what does it do for you? I mean, it's
Well, it
just
helps monitor.
Step monitor.
Yeah, heart, step, water intake, sleep. I definitely monitor my sleep patterns like crazy because I've been paying more attention to that.
Me too, but I've been doing it by staying awake to see when I'm not sleeping.
What's going on? How am I doing?
Still awake.
My sleep pattern, it doesn't matter because one of our now 5 dogs are getting older, and so 3:30 and 5:30 on the dot. He gets off the bed, comes aside, and I gotta go outside. I gotta go to the bathroom. So 3:30, 5:30 every day or every morning now. I'm up and out, and then of course I said, "Oh, you gotta go potty." Well, the other dogs hear that, they just fire up. They gotta go outside and play. I'm like, no, it's 3:30. So. There's
bringing
no
you to leashes. Like, hey, let's go.
No,
down to the park.
It's just backyard, and our newest dog that we just inherited is older, and I gotta go out and watch her to make sure she doesn't fall into our pool. So I'm standing out there at 3:30 in the morning with one eye open, just watching her. I'm like, come on, and then they want to like sniff and play. I'm like, no, that's not what this is about. Let's inside. So my sleep patterns, no watch needed for that. The dogs have it under control.
Wow. Well, as far as schedules go, I'm not sure if we can transition to any smooth story there. So unless we talk about something else, I don't know where other than just starting on at the top with Officer Brian's favorite.
100%. It involves law enforcement, so I think this is right down his alleyway.
This is definitely something I would love to get as an officer. I'd just be like, yes.
Officer Brian, can you respond to a
yeah. What would the 10 code be for this call? Greek resident guilty of entering homes to smell shoes. Would they just call it breaking and entering at that point? Or
it's just that's breaking in or burglary of a house, burglary of a residence, burglary of a building. Just
yes, so raunchy.
To smell shoes. There was nothing else. He was not stealing anything other than, I mean,
a scent. He was stealing scents.
It was the Jimmy John's free smells, right? He was getting the free sniff. This is breaking and sniffing. This story is absolutely nuts. The guy had no explanation for police. He couldn't. They're saying like, he's like hunched over the shoes as they come up. There's a flashlight on him. He's like. And they're like, "What are you doing?" He's like,
just getting a whiff.
He's like Smeagol, Smeagol over there. Yeah.
Just getting my socks off.
Anyway,
it's so bad. I don't get it. And
the victim's shoes were outside on the porch. So it wasn't like he was going in the house, but just entering the property to do it. And they left him on the porch because they smelled so bad. They wanted to air them out. And he's getting a good whiff.
Mm. Who picks these stories? That's
I don't know. AI probably.
Your algorithm is jacked up right now, man.
It wasn't his first offense. This was not the first time he got caught doing that. It had been several times. I couldn't get him. Neighbors couldn't get him to stop. I called the police eventually. Sentence wise, he was sentenced to I think it was a month, but it was like a guilty in abeyance type thing where he doesn't actually serve the time. It's suspended.
Yeah, suspended therapy or something, which is probably the better result
probably
here.
A solid month of therapy could help in this situation.
That's hang on a second.
A month barefoot, says Michelle's Mixed Media Madness. There's the penalty right there.
Oh, sorry. That was my wife came in. She told me that the dog was chasing the neighbor on a bicycle just now. And I said, I had no idea our dog could ride a bicycle. Michelle asked, so I had to plug one in there 3 times. Had to get one in there and get away from the shoes. Awful. bless you. We have a bless you counter, by the way.
I'm sorry, man. I have been fighting sinus infection, so if I duck out, it's because I got a cough. I'm starting to develop that cough that will last me for 3 months now. Yay.
Yeah. Well, Thomas, in the spirit of that, I have to tell you about something that happened in my little small town. We have these little get-togethers downtown where everyone hangs out, and it's usually a car show and like some food and stuff like that. There was a crash right next to where everybody was. Big truck comes in, tips over. It's a semi, tips over, books everywhere. Rogers Thesaurus everywhere, just across. It was like a whole printing run of the Rogers Thesaurus. And the onlookers were stunned, startled, aghast, taken aback, stupefied, confused, shocked, rattled, paralyzed, dazed, bewildered, mixed up, surprised, awed, dumbfounded. I could go on.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I don't know if that was directed at mine or Scott's. I'm probably
both.
Mine.
Both.
No, yours was better. Mine is an old one. There's different variations of mine. I just happened to see the one I saw today. I actually really like yours.
Red Pen corrected me. It's Rogers, not Rogers.
Of course. Brian, for reference, Red Pen taught English for, I don't know.
And still does.
It's still, yes.
Yeah.
Mostly to me.
Every day, 100%.
Just know the red pen says it all. That's yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Strike
get
through, strike through, strike through.
No.
That's all I could see.
No. Go to the dictionary.
I'm gonna jump ahead. We're not gonna go in order here because we were just on beat there with a little police action. But this story is fun. So if you can do a little reverse psychology and maybe get away with a crime, it might work in some areas. So this individual,
It can.
it's brilliant. He gets pulled over, traffic stop, and the police take a look, and in the front seat there's a brown bag. Written on said bag is definitely not a bag full of drugs.
All right.
So the cops naturally just move on. They don't even look at it. And no, of course they'd look at it and let's take a look. Drugs, gun, cash, and scales in said bag that says definitely. This is in Oregon, in Portland. Definitely not a bag full of drugs. No, it wasn't. It was full of drugs and paraphernalia and cash and a weapon. So they weren't lying.
And if you look down at the very bottom, it's got a free ticket to jail.
100%. Oh, 100%.
So bad. So bad.
The things criminals do to try to get away with it. I mean, there's all sorts of theories out there about, if you do this, then they can't catch you. And a lot of, I think, some of the pro se stuff and, the sovereign citizen arguments are spawned from that. Have you ever had a soft traffic stop? Somebody's like, what was it like?
Oh, no.
Oh my gosh, man. Like, okay. Like, soon as you walk up, before I can even say my name and like what I pulled you over for, they're like, I am not driving, I am traveling. And I'm like, you're one of those people. So I'm like, okay, all right, I get this. And I kind of appeal to their ego just a little bit, but then I kind of like try to reverse psychology it. And I'm like, okay, I will agree with you. Yes, you are traveling from point A to point B to point C to point D. Yes, you are traveling. And they're like, thank you. And I went, but in the state of Texas, you are operating a vehicle because the vehicle doesn't turn itself on. It doesn't press the gas. It doesn't get you in your travels to that next destination. So you are operating a vehicle and you need a driver's license to operate said vehicle. So I need your driver's license.
but yeah, I love it when I like watching those videos.
They never end well
for the driver. Almost
never.
I would just at that point, doesn't the police officer have some discretion? Because you can pretty much arrest somebody for almost any violation, right?
Well, technically, since you have pulled someone over, they have violated traffic law. Like they have broken the law. So therefore, we must identify you. So that's why we say you don't have to give it to me. You can hold it up into the window. You can even tell me your first name, last name, date of birth, or social security number, just so I can prove you as you. But if they refuse to give me nothing, well, then I have to take it that you are a wanted murderer, or you're just trying my patience. But they're mainly just trying to try your patience. So I normally just like remain calm and go, look, I'm just doing my job. I'm going to get you out of here faster where we don't have to scream at each other. And honestly, sometimes I'll be like, look, I'm going to go ahead and give you a warning, but I need your information because I have to issue you a paper copy of the warning. I have to by law.
It's that, or I called a tow truck and we sort it out that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, but normally because again, they can see they're not going to get the best of me. That's when they finally go, well, I'm not going to give it to you, but I'll show it to you. And I'm like, that's fine. I just need to see it, verify it, and I will send you on your merry way.
Absolutely.
KRH has a question. Thomas, do you want to handle this one?
Yeah, absolutely. KRH with the super chat for $5. Thanks so much. It says, have you introduced Officer Brian? We love new friends. Well, new to me. I've missed a couple podcasts, so I don't know if he is new. I also got a text from Amber. I rescued dogs in chat. Said the same thing. So we've got some new people in chat. Officer Brian and I live in the same exact town. He is an officer here in our local PD. I attended a Citizens Police Academy, which is an experience for civilians to get to know officers and understand more in depth of what they do and how they do it and why they do things. It's a very transparent program, which is amazing for those of us that support police and those that don't understand or may be against in a certain time period to get to understand a little bit more. So getting to know Officer Brian, we've become friends. He's also a public information officer here with the PD, which means he loves to talk. So when I talked about a podcast, he said, sign me up. I'll come on whenever you want me. So
we've had to fight him off every episode since.
So he comes on, we pick his brain. He shares some stories. It doesn't get too deep. It stays lighthearted, but every once in a while we have a question for him about his duties and experiences that he's seen and dealt with on the street, and gives us some insight.
Duty.
And his
Sorry.
So he has joined the 12-year-old panel of us here on the show.
and increase the IQ and age.
Not very much, okay.
Very much so.
Also had Crazy Cat Queen come in with a huge super chat saying Scott for the win. She graded the 2 jokes, but this is the Thesaurus. I can't even say it now. Thesaurus joke. Sorry, I've been MIA. Miss you all very, very much. Questioning life choices of late. Crazy Cat Queen, welcome. Good to have you here. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Nice.
That's a good one. Quick follow-up to KRH. We are not in the DFW area. We are just a few hours north, but not too far. So awesome.
Which still could be just about anywhere because Texas is huge. Texas is like, whew.
Yes.
Yeah, it's when I drive from our town to visit my dad who's in San Diego, it's a 2-day drive. The first day is spent driving through Texas, and then the next 2 days it's New Mexico, Arizona, through California. It's crazy. It's pretty wild.
I need at least one state border every day. If I have to wake up, drive across the state, and still be in the state at the end of the day, there's a problem. I'll take a different route.
I have no other routes to take. Well, technically, the northern route, yes, I can get into Albuquerque, New Mexico, but I won't get into it. But yeah, I could do that.
Yeah, I mean, you can.
Tell me, am I the weird one? Does everyone else
Yes.
like take a breath right before they like cross the state line and be like, last breath from Ohio?
No.
Oh, now it's different. Is that it's just me in my vehicle? I always take a breath before I cross the state line because you never know how the air is going to be.
I pick my feet up going over railroad tracks, but I
do that. I do that. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
How's your railroad track thing not the same as taking a breath? What?
You're taking a breath for the last breath of air in Ohio. It's the same air.
But it's real air. Like it makes a difference.
Yeah, but it's like a real
this
railroad
is Ohio
track.
air, and this is. But what does it take picking your feet up to do?
You're going to argue with the weather guy about the air doesn't know state borders.
But legally, it's airspace from a different state. It's got to be different somehow.
Okay, y'all.
I swear
I'm out of here.
I can taste the difference. I can taste the difference.
That's Oklahoma air.
It's only me apparently. I rolled down the window. And get the fresh air.
Do you like try to cup it while you rolled out the window? You like put your hand out and like.
Sometimes if I've been to the state before, I'll hold my breath as long as I possibly can before I take the breath of the new air. But as a driver, that's not recommended for long periods.
No, it's not.
I don't know when I started doing that. It wasn't something my parents taught me, but I've always done that. It was like as far back as I can remember.
I've always held my breath past cemeteries.
I've never done that one.
That's like an old like wise tale, like picking up your legs over railroad tracks. Like it's like a myth, like holding your breath over as you pass by a cemetery. I don't know why.
So I did the total opposite on my ride along. I did. It wasn't with Officer Brian. This was 10 years ago with a different officer who's a friend of mine as well. We went into the cemetery it was a graveyard shift. I think it was about 2:30. We just went for a little stroll in there to check it out. Found $20 on the ground. And so he picked it up and I said, well, what do you know, there's like little memorials and there's like a vase over there or vase. Sorry. I know you had a poll the other day, Scott, on that one, but, like, where are you going to put it? Yeah. And he said, what do you mean we're going to put it? We don't know who this belongs to and it doesn't belong to anyone here. So I'm taking it.
And they're not going to miss it.
100%. And I went, that's got to be the most cursed $20 bill ever. But he's still doing great and kicking. So apparently it was just.
No, I'd sit in graveyards. No one's going to bother you at 1 o'clock in the morning in a graveyard.
True. You can bust out a report and don't have to worry about anything.
You don't have to worry about nothing. Nothing.
But everyone else who's driving by is like, yeah, you're a little late. You're not going to catch him. He got away. Yeah. Quiet neighbors, though. They do make quiet neighbors.
So speaking of long time superstitions and wives' tales and things that are long standing, how about Pepperidge Farm? After 66 years, I wonder, before I even say it in chat, has anyone heard of this? Pepperidge Farm's one of their most famous products, rebranding it. And I don't even know the reason why. I didn't dive into that. I just know what they're rebranding it from and to, and it's mind-blowing.
This is the equivalent of Google changing their homepage, their search page, to look like, I don't know, MSNBC.
Yes.
It is terrible. It is a terrible idea. I'm so against this. I think I'm going to start like a GoFundMe or something, a letter campaign, a change.org.
Against it. Yes.
Protest.
Petition. Here we go.
I was at the factory. I was at the factory in Logan, Utah, the Pepperidge Farm factory, where they make the item formerly known as Goldfish.
Goldfish is no longer called Goldfish. Yes. They're changing. A quick Google search of Chilean Sea Bass brings you to what was formerly known as Goldfish.
They're going to make a lot of toddlers mad. You think a little toddler could say Chilean?
Mom, I want some Chilean.
I want some Chilean crackers.
You've got to say it right, honey. You got to say it right, or I won't give it to you. Chilean. That is terrible.
Goldfish is trying to grab the attention of us that grew up in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s who ate these as kids.
There is one silver lining to this. It's a temporary change.
Still not a good one.
They're going back. But I think for the entire time that they're Chilean sea bass, they better not use that little fishy with the smile that everyone knows is a goldfish. Because if I have to tell my kids they're Chilean sea bass for 2 months, they labeled wrong, my kids will never believe me.
Bless you.
Yes. That's 2 now.
Oh, someone tweeted, this sounds like something you would do on April Fool's Day. And then Pepperidge Farm came back with, that's what we originally thought too. Thanks. Oh, it's crazy. But being temporary, I love it. That's fun.
So now I have to Google Chilean sea bass and see what they look like, because if they look like a goldfish, then I have to take back everything.
I'm actually going to do that right now.
You know what? One of the reasons I pulled this story, Scott?
What's that?
About 2 months ago, there was a new flavor of goldfish that you said we had to go to the store and buy and eat on stream. And I went to the store and bought. and ate on stream, and you were like, "Hey," during sound check, you're like, "I totally didn't go to the store and get these goldfish."
Yeah, something bad happened.
What was that?
Sold out.
Well,
they sold out.
No. They didn't, because you told me you didn't go to the store.
But when I did go to the store, they weren't available anymore.
But the podcast was already over, so it didn't matter.
Details.
What was the flavor? Do you remember?
It was yes, it was like the southern
Creole seasoning of some sort.
Old Bay.
That's right, Old Bay.
They have Frank's, which is completely different.
Ooh,
like the Frank's hot sauce that you can find everywhere now, but the Old Bay was limited run. I went to the factory and asked for it. They're like, "Oh yeah, we do that occasionally. We don't get that much in here." But
I bet Old Bay is so good on Chilean sea bass. I bet it's perfect marriage.
It's so much better than Goldfish.
That would be amazing. Oh my gosh. And have a little side of instant rice that comes with the pack. It would be amazing. Pepperidge Farm is onto something. All right, I can get on board. Not sponsored.
I'm looking for pictures of Chilean sea bass. European sea bass, black sea bass. Is it a real thing? The only pictures I can see of Chilean sea bass are like Instagram pictures of a cooked fillet. I mean, no wonder they're going extinct. Everyone's eating them.
Let me see what I can. Oh yeah, I hit images, and all I get are just goldfish pictures everywhere.
Oh! I found one. It's a crappy picture.
Ooh, this one.
See if I can bring this up. Hold on, just 1 second. There's camera 3.
Oh, I found one. Is this from Gilberto Andreas?
No, I've got Vital Choice.
Okay.
Vital Choice, but give me a second. It sort of cuts off the nose and the tail. But
that's a pretty fish. Holy teeth.
Here we go. Camera two. There it is. Boom.
Okay.
It's like a cross between, I don't know what has spikes like that. A pufferfish and a walleye is what I'd go with. A pufferfish and a walleye.
To me, it looks like a cross between a goldfish and a bass from Chile.
There's zero goldfish in there, other than the adorable little eyes.
Oh, I love it.
All right.
Chilean sea bass. Where do they? I guess they live in Chile, right? Is that the idea?
Ideally, but it's a temporary change, as they stated, right?
Yeah, I don't know how long. Let's see if I can
just
find
don't
that
get
again.
it. Why?
Okay, they're
little marketing scheme.
They say they're doing it temporarily to bring back the older generation who grew up on the salty, happier cracker. So apparently, the older generation knows what a Chilean sea bass is, but not a goldfish.
First time I've ever heard of it.
Because as you get older, your memory is like a goldfish.
Good news. I'm not older. I have no clue what that fish is.
You know what's not temporary?
What?
A $470 million lottery ticket that was won yesterday.
Oh, I can dare to dream.
The Powerball?
Powerball. They got all 5 white balls and the red ball. Bam. 478
one winner.
Million. One winner on that one. Now 2 winners got the 5 white balls, but not the red. Here's the craziness about difference in this winning ticket.
Forever.
Yes, 100%, right? Can you imagine too if the wife and husband had an argument about what Powerball number they wanted, and one of them picked the right
normally
one?
I normally buy 11. I went with 12.
Yeah, and that thing, it's done. So what's crazy, the difference. So all 5 Powerball numbers plus the Powerball red. This one was $478 million winning, 0.2 winning, right? Without the Powerball, but you get all 5 numbers, 1 million. Like, that's still cool. I mean, I'm pumped, right? $1 million lottery ticket. You're going to walk home with $600,000 cash. I mean, life-changing. But you're one number away.
Else walks home with
from another $350 million.
Godly.
Yes.
Wow.
Crazy. So the winning ticket, sorry, I've got.
What were the numbers out of curiosity? Does anybody know?
Yeah, I got it right here. Winning numbers, drawing 2, 15, 27, 29, 39. The red Powerball was 20. I would not have won because I always put my hockey number in, which is 35. So I would have not won anything there. The grand prize winner, I believe, is in Georgia. Yep. And then the $1 million winners, one was Texas and one was probably North Carolina. All the lottery winners are in North Carolina. Pennsylvania. I stand corrected.
So are you up for a contest? I'm still stuck on that other story. First person to find a bag of Chilean sea bass and buy it. I need a picture of like
I'm in.
driver's license held up to the bag.
A newspaper showing
Maybe a
the date
newspaper,
time.
yes. Proof of life, everything. No Photoshop. Okay, no Photoshop. No AI.
So the three of us are in. Whoever finds it first, we take a picture. You put it on your Facebook page and tag the other two on your post. So that way we know who won. Because we're all three of us are on Facebook, even though Scott never logs on.
Post it on the Recovery Addict page so other people can see who won as well.
Perfect.
See,
I'm just going to look awkward
That's what
tomorrow.
I'll do when I win.
I'm just going to be driving up in a cop car to all the like Dollar Generals and grocery stores with my gun, being like, "Y'all got Chilean goldfish?
Where's your goldfish?
I know you got it in the back. I need to see it."
I need the new box. The new box.
They're going to think it's code for drugs because they don't know the story yet.
Y'all got that Chilean? Y'all got Chilean?
That leads us
I've been
right
hearing
into a
about it.
story. That leads us right into a story. This one out of the AP. I'm sorry, that's hilarious.
Oh.
I'm envisioning you with like armloads of goldfish, like it's for an investigation or something. German police say pizza order number 40 special on the menu. Would you like number 40? Oh yeah, the 40 was expensive.
This is a pizza place?
Yeah, in Berlin, they busted a pizzeria in Dusseldorf that also delivered a side order of cocaine when customers ordered a 40.
Oh, so you're like, can I get the number 40 cheese only? And then like, you got it. And then so you get a baggie with your cheese pizza.
You get a cheese pizza and a baggie.
Some booger sugar.
It was one of the best selling pizzas, apparently.
Imagine that.
I bet.
I wonder how long they were doing it. That's I wonder
Wow.
how many are still doing it.
I wonder what the pizza was. Okay, because 40 was like, it was a pizza. It was an item on the menu. And that's how they actually got caught, because food inspectors were like, why is anybody ordering this? That's a crap menu item, right?
Oh.
That's what busted this wide open. It's like, seriously? The breadstick, single breadstick, no seasoning is the biggest seller here. The nickel deal meal or the dime bag meal, one of the two.
Breadstick, no seasoning, half cup of water meal. Sign me up.
$40.
Yeah, exactly. That's the most expensive one too.
Imagine a tourist going in there. Wow.
Plus tip. When the police busted in the apartment of the pizzeria manager, 36-year-old allegedly threw a bag of drugs out the window, which fell right into the arms of the police officers down below. 3.5 pounds of cocaine, 400 grams, that's 14.1 ounces of cannabis. That's 268,000 euros in cash.
That is a lot.
That's like
Pounds.
250
That's a lot of
number
pizzas.
40 meals.
That's a lot of pizzas. Get to feed a lot of little league teams with that.
Ouch. So I wonder who would get charged then? The owner, well, obviously the GM had it in possession through it, so he's busted. But who's responsible for anyone involved that knew it was happening that they can prove?
I didn't read this part of the story.
Oh,
It's not over.
Ooh.
Police said the restaurant manager, who was released from detention after a few days, soon reopened his business and started selling pizza number 40 with a cocaine side order again.
He saw the good deal. It was a good business plan.
They used 150 officers, busted an entire drug ring in Western Germany as a result of this.
Probation was like, hey, I see what you got going on here. Go on out there, hit it, buddy. Oh my gosh.
They found 2 cannabis plantations with
man.
360 plants respectively. That's a small grow. They also found cutting and stabbing weapons. Those are called knives, as well as cash and expensive watches.
Cutting and stabbing. Okay.
I guess there's some words newspapers don't like printing.
Fair enough.
Knife is one. I don't know. It could have been like a pizza cutter.
They have YouTube rules.
Like a large supply of pizza cutters.
That'd be a cutting.
And toothpicks.
Stabbing with toothpicks.
Yeah.
Wow, that's wild. Gets busted and says, yeah, whatever, a little time out. I'm going to go right back at it because that was so fruitful. I'm not going to dodge this one.
Wow.
Pizzeria
He's
manager
like, I'm
was
down,
arrested.
but I'm not out.
He was arrested when he tried to flee abroad.
Oh.
None of the suspects' names were released in line with German privacy rules.
I'm going to start Googling pizzerias in the United States that offer a number 40.
The only thing we don't know is how much they charge for the pizza, but
that's true.
What a meal.
What a meal.
God, I would hate to see that financial advisor looking at like the tax statements being like, wow, good for you.
I'm wondering if it was delivery or if it was Uber or if it was you picked it up yourself.
Had to be pickup.
I mean, the Uber guy has to know. It's like another order number 40. This.
I would just like to see the
Who
people that
eats
come
this?
in. I just want to see the people that come in and go up to the counter and be like, hey, bro, can I get the number 40?
I say that, but hopefully this doesn't get me in trouble with the statute of limitations. There was a time when I worked at McDonald's. And we had a manager that had to be let go because he also did this same thing. He had a book of stamps that he'd sell with the food. People would come in and ask to see the manager about some discount or something, and he'd run back and get his little stickers or whatever they were. Kept them in the store safe.
Entrepreneur.
It's got a time lock. Officer, I can't open it. It's on the time lock.
Sorry, I'm new. I'm new.
38 more minutes till access is granted. Sorry, officer.
He had to go. He got busted.
Wow.
You know what's crazy? And Officer Brian can attest this more than me or anyone else, but we often make fun of dumb criminals and say criminals are dumb, but how creative a lot of them can actually be with their time and things they do. They eventually get caught, but the smart ones prolong it for a long time. And then once law enforcement learns, oh, that's a cool trick, we're going to put that down in our journal. So we'll look for that first next time. And then they're done. But there's some smart criminals out there, isn't there? Creative
There really is. I mean, because all they have is the point is not to get caught. So they're literally all they have is time to try to figure out how to skate past us and all of that. But I'm here to tell you right now, we all have social media. We all pay attention to it. Like you come across stuff, but you're like, you pick up something, you just go, well, that isn't right. That doesn't feel right. Like, oh, that soda can, that doesn't feel like a normal soda can. I'm just going to
only heavy on one end.
Yeah. But no, they can be creative at times. And you're just like, well, that's a first.
Right.
There are some smart crooks. There are also a lot of people out there that don't know that they're committing a crime.
Yes.
Just completely oblivious, which is not an excuse. Specifically, I'm thinking of some New Zealanders who might not have read the signs and realized that they are violating the rules when it comes to exactly what the proper conduct that's safe for an airport, for instance. Crickets. Too vague. Well, let me explain this.
Waiting for the rules. There's so many rules at the airport.
Yes. I'm like, okay.
You all know you're not supposed to park your car right there, the drop-off and everything. In New Zealand, they have a new rule. It's called hug faster. Yes.
Oh, yes.
The longing embrace you leave with your loved one as they are departing on the trip of a lifetime is now limited to 3 minutes.
3-minute goodbyes?
No more than 3 minutes. So kiss faster, hug shorter, say your goodbyes on the way to the airport, whatever you have to do, because after 3 minutes, you may be under arrest.
I want to know what short straw that officer pulled that has to go and go.
Stopwatch it.
Like I didn't see when you started, but it's been like 3 minutes and 20 seconds right now, so I'm pretty sure.
Stop hugging. Go. Yeah. You're done.
I wonder if it's like the camera, where they go back in time and there's somebody's job is like, he's just starting a timer for each person. Okay, and they just started. We got their license plate already because they pulled right up in front of the drop-off point. You could just mail them a ticket.
But how could you identify the person?
It's just like speeding. It goes
Yeah,
to
but they
the
get
owner
your
of the
plate.
vehicle. Goes to the owner of the vehicle.
Yeah, but my understanding, this rule is like even in the lobby, like if you walk in and you're hugging and all that, it's like, all right, break up your hugs, move. Even if you like parked in a parking lot and you
Everybody has to
walk
go
all the way.
through security. I'm
Wow.
sure there's a database somewhere where you could just follow them on camera long enough and see where they scanned their ID.
I'm here to
Just
tell you right
true.
now, I mean, I've been to major big airports. I ain't trying to hang around at airports. I'm going to do all my hugging right before we get to the airport and be like, all right, love you, bye. I'm getting out of here.
You and
Well,
Christina share the same sentiment. Who says goodbye that long anyway? Beat it. I'm free this weekend.
God, you ate all my food.
Get out of the car. Get out of the car.
God.
No, so no PDA. No PDA for Officer Brian.
No.
Thomas.
Well, I'm going to get it all out beforehand because we all know airports are crazy, chaotic. They cost too much. It's like, get in, I'm getting out.
Yeah, when I'm traveling,
there's
it's,
something romantic. There's something romantic about, just your arms around your loved one as you hear over your shoulder. The moving sidewalk is for your traveling convenience. Please stand to the right in single file so that others may walk past you on the left. That's not romantic. No.
No.
Okay.
100%. If it's a wife, it's just a quick hug and a kiss. Like, bye, I love you so much. I'll call you when I land. What formalities.
Yeah.
It's like a 45-second deal because you've already been driving to the airport and talking about, oh, I'm gonna miss you. See you then. Blah blah. So there's no overplaying. But
I'm trying to get to the Top Golf, man.
people who want a longer hug can use the parking lot where the first 15 minutes are free.
Josh, you win the comment of the night with that one.
Yep.
Free parking.
Speaking of flying and airfares and whatnot, this is kind of fun for those that have. I'm not going to do any spoilers, but I will mention the trial name: Georgia versus Ferris. My family, we are flying for Halloween to Cumming, Georgia, Cumming, which is where the Ferris sons loved to often eat and play golf frequently. So we have friends there. I've looked up the farmhouse on Purcell Lane. It is about a 7-minute drive from our hotel. So I will go down the road and just take a peek, probably snap a quick photo of it. I won't bother the homeowners or anything. I'll just keep on going.
Drive by.
I'll just do a quick drive by. Yep.
They're going to have cops.
Got
they're
that
going to
on
have cops out there.
So I'll kind of get to see the area. I plan on driving as a golfer. I want to kind of drive by the golf course. I'm just curious to see the place they played all the time. I know the Cherokee restaurant they named often is permanently closed. I already looked that up. But I'll be right there in the backyard.
The big spenders went away.
Yeah, exactly.
The one family that kept them in business is not there anymore.
100%. So I'll take a few pictures just to share with all those that have been so engaged with that case, even though we're on a break from it at the moment. But so you'll get to see some real-time photos of whatever I can see without intruding on anyone's privacy because the house has been sold. There's new owners. They're probably.
I would rephrase that to whatever you can see without getting kicked off. Let's push the limit just a little bit.
I will have to get.
He's going for like the Greek sniffer over here.
Officer Brian, you can vouch for me on this. They have to trespass you first, right? They don't just arrest you first time.
Yeah, they can.
But I mean, really, do you ever just like arrest somebody the first time they're like wandering on private property? Like, hey, you're under arrest. You never.
I mean, it is officer discretion, but yes, technically they can because
you're probably good.
Especially if they have signs, then yes. If they have signs, definitely they can arrest you right then and there because the sign is the warning.
Right.
I'm gonna have to get close because it's an iPhone 8, so I'm really gonna have to get up on property and take a quick picture and see.
You'll be looking at your daughter. Give me your phone. Give me your phone.
Maybe we could give you like a pizza delivered. Maybe like somebody ordered the number 40.
Yeah, locking me up even longer. But no, so that's kind of cool. And that was all by happenstance. I overheard watching you live cover that trial and they said the name and I went, wait a minute, that's where we're going. What the heck? And so I started looking up, thought that's kind of neat. And then part of the whole trip is with said friends taking the 1.5-hour drive down south, just south of Atlanta, to do the whole Walking Dead tour of where they filmed all of that stuff in the town and all that. We've heard the tour is amazing. My wife and daughter forever loved the show. I've seen like one episode, so I don't know, but they're thrilled along with our friends. So that's going to be our trip. So for me, it's taking pictures of seeing the trial we're covering, and for them, it's taking that tour. So
Josh suggest living on number 40 with Chilean Sea Bass on the
Josh
side.
is on fire tonight. Oh, now, I wonder if
Josh
that would be
drank my Mountain Dew. I think that's what happened.
Man, talk about an in-flight meal. That would be fantastic.
Man, that's a good one. That's a good one.
So, Brian, we all know Scott hates holidays. Do you and your wife hand out candy or anything?
Whoa, wait. We can't just leave it at that.
Hey, well,
back up. Wait, time out, Tom. Time out, Brian. I don't hate holidays. I celebrate differently. I love looking at other people's decorations in their yard. Walking around, taking the kids to see the lights and the ghosts and the lasers and everything else. I love it. I just don't like setting it up in my own yard.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of the same way. I'm a fuddy-duddy when it comes to the holidays. I do put up Christmas Christmas is kind of like the big time for us, like Christmas trees, decorations, Christmas lights, and we normally do try to hand out candy in our neighborhood, but we don't get a lot of kids. But this year, I think we're gonna go to my in-laws, and they have more kids in that neighborhood, so we'll go hand out some candy over there.
How much candy is the right amount to hand out?
That all depends on the size of the candy.
Well, you have to plan ahead because you can't buy candy Halloween night.
Handful of fun-sized stuff in every pillowcase or bucket that comes to you.
Yeah, you got to gauge it if you know how many kids are going to come past your house, because you can gauge how many kids are out there. And like Thomas said, like kind of almost a handful, which fun size is probably 4 to 5 pieces.
I'm trying to count in my head how much we have, because we get what I would suggest is a abnormally high number of trick-or-treaters on our street. Even in the county, our street is known, and you'll find it on the Facebook pages, as the place to go trick-or-treat.
Oh yeah,
it's your decorations.
Mostly. Everyone else has like all the lights and stuff. I do the haunted house look. It's like, oh, is anybody there?
And the audio.
I heard they died years ago. That's and I do run some audio and scare people that way.
We see silhouettes of guests through the windows.
We have. I went and counted. We have 5-pound bags of candy, like the Sam's Club size bags. Yeah. We have 7.
Perfect. 35 pounds.
Wow, that's a lot of candy.
It's what we had last year, and we like gave out the last bit, and then had to turn the lights off. And there were some people that walked by, and they're like, "Oh, that house, nobody lives there." And so we were okay, but
we try to aim between 40 to 50 pounds. Yeah,
that's good. Okay.
Wow, I'm just like 2 bags of candy, and I'm like, all right, y'all have fun. Thank y'all. God, 35, 40 pounds of candy.
Well, we don't do big candy. We do lots of little candy.
Same.
Minis.
So we shovel stuff in.
Yeah. So this year, we're going to be out of town, and we've got the 15-foot witch floating and the big thing, and so everyone's going to stop to the house. So I'm going to Tractor Supply this weekend to get one of those little horse troughs, and so we're going to put like 50 pounds in the trough by the front door. And I'm gonna have it. And I'm gonna have
it's gone.
Biggest
one swoop.
It's like suitcase over his shoulder.
If anyone local watching the show, bring a truck and you're good on the first stop. But we're gonna have a sign that says, "Take a handful each, please. We're watching you." But our front door is all glass, so I'm gonna put up a black curtain, but I'm gonna peel it back, and there's gonna be 2 little realistic-looking eyes that I have in a mannequin, like peeking. Like kind of looking. So if you stare at it long enough, it doesn't move, but it's going to be creepy enough to where
anyone in Thomas's neighborhood that might be watching now, you're free. Yeah. You're free to just help.
Plans are foiled. 100%.
Man, I'm just coming to take your decorations, man. I'm just going to show up and take your decorations, and I'll give them back to you next week. They'll be like, no one took the candy, but all of our decorations are gone. I'm over here just like.
Check out my new skeleton.
They are such a pain to put up or take down. So bring some water and Gatorade if you do it, because it's
gonna be hot.
It's a pain.
And that's why I don't set anything up. Now, in my defense, I do set up some decorations. I have, for instance, already set up my Christmas decorations. I did it for last year. They've been up since then. I've had my lights up year round.
God.
I haven't turned them on. I have not turned them on. We only turn them on until New Year's Day, and then we turn them off. But they're still up.
So they may not even work.
They work great. It's actually, if you look at like high-end houses, they do permanent installation of Christmas lights. So I'm like ahead of the curve here with leaving them up. People pay big money to get the same effect that I'm having right now.
They're not permanent Christmas lights. They're lights that you can change and adjust to each and every different holiday.
Yeah, potato. It's permanent. It's permanent Christmas lights.
That's fancy. That's just too fancy. I'm up there in the cold north wind on the ladder at the very tippy top, having my wife trying to hold it the best I can. And I'm just like, man, if I go. Today's the day. Just trying to get it in.
Griswold.
Let me try something. I'm going to see if I can go outside and show you my neighbor's lights. Let's see, StreamYard.
Perfect. I was at Walmart today, and I noticed, and I'm so pro holiday, but I was already, all the Halloween stuff's long gone. Thanksgiving or fall stuff is already 50% off. Everything is all stocked with Christmas stuff everywhere already. So I bought a few T-shirts for Christmas. One of them's on its way to the P.O. Box, Scott. So
I wasn't listening. Sorry.
I know that's why I said it.
Don't put me up yet. Oh, that's loud.
Echo. Want me to pull you up once you have a shot? Oh, okay? Got it. So for those that are watching, bless you, Brian. Scott's going remote. He's in the green room, which Brian and I can see. You guys can't see yet, or audio. Once he's outside with a picture, we'll pull him up, and actually we'll go ahead and kick him off there. So once he gets out there, now he said my neighbors. Okay, here we go. Oh, okay. Now I don't know. Scott probably can't hear us.
I can hear you just fine.
Oh,
I'm good. I'm stepping on cockroaches on the sidewalk. So I don't know what it was. Okay, so this is my neighbor's house. It has like a huge lit up dragon up on the roof.
Can you back up to your house Wi-Fi just a hair so we can get your audio back?
Hang on.
Perfect.
I just turned off Wi-Fi, so now you're on cellular.
Still data.
Okay,
wonderful.
I don't know how to zoom.
I'll just put Brian and I backstage, and you can just do a.
Yeah, I'm zooming on my screen, but you guys can't see it. They'll have about double this on their front yard, and they've got like motorized cats and everything moving. A little witch, a skeleton, a couple. Let's see. This looks like a Night Before Christmas stuff, and it wraps around the house and everything else. There's a low hum that comes from the house, and it's from all the fans inflating all the decorations. But there's going to be more down there as well. Everyone else is going to be setting it up this week. So my house, on the other hand, looks like this. I'm not actually looking at my house there. My house looks more like that. But anyway, okay, bring me back. You're leaving me alone.
Oh, that's so awesome.
I just see a rolling electricity bill, man. That's all I see.
Yeah, that's true. It definitely, ours gets hit up a little bit extra, but with the technology of LED lighting and everything, it's changed quite a bit, and with timers.
It really has, yeah.
So that's really kind of helped in certain ways, but that's so cool. Only on the Not Relevant podcast do you get a little Halloween tour from the host Scott out there across the street as he steps.
I like doing my Christmas lights. I'll connect the power cord. I have like an Alexa, like plug, and I'll connect it, and I'll like be in the house chilling on the couch and be like, oh, Alexa, turn on the Christmas lights, and bing, they pop on.
Yeah.
Sarah's light.
So it's pretty cool. Yeah.
She
heard me. I have one in my office. I got them all over the house. She hears me.
You just triggered it. She's still going.
Alexa, cancel.
As we're
Alexa, subscribe to the Not Relevant podcast.
Oh,
Sorry.
I didn't know where you're going with it.
Okay.
I'm on board with that one.
Everyone's scrambling.
I
Like,
thought
no, I don't need a lifetime supply of AA batteries. Yeah.
Scott, perfect
I-
segue. Sharing the neighbors. What do you got? Go.
I went and checked to see what I stepped on.
Uh-oh.
It was a fire ant hill.
Mm.
I don't know. I didn't got any on me. I like stepped
don't
on it. It was so
know.
quick. I got zero
They're
fire
quicker
ants on me.
than ninjas, those things.
I know.
Yeah.
The neighbor's house is cool. That's a perfect segue right into our last little article that I want to throw in to kind of wrap up the show. Obviously Halloween themed, and it's titled Boo Hoo. These 5 states give out the least Halloween candy. And
Move
so
now. Move now before next week. We might. I bet we have people in every single one of these states.
I don't
What
think
do you
so.
think? No.
I've already read the article, and I don't know the whole viewership that you have.
You're saying Rhode Island doesn't rank very high on the list. Is that it?
They don't. But it's cool. So they went off. So couponbirds.com. They went through the data, analyzing over 1,000 Google search terms and looked at volume per capita to be sure each state was equally represented. So it's not. Anyways, you get the point. So the absolutely worst one to live in. I want to see. Oh, have you guys read it yet? Brian, I know you haven't because you don't.
I haven't read it.
Scott never reads these anyway. So
I don't read ahead.
I'm like, hey, the script's done. He's like, awesome. I'll check it out when we're done.
We'll do it live. Yeah.
What's your guess on the worst state?
I'm going to say like North Dakota.
Alaska, because it's just too cold.
You both are wrong, but they're in the top 5. It's Hawaii.
Because candy's just too expensive. Everything's too expensive.
Yeah.
They just,
And it's still super warm right now for them.
True.
It's like living in North Texas. Let's see. Number 2. Take a guess.
Montana.
I'm going to go with the North Dakota on that one.
Alaska.
Oh, I should have stuck with my first
Too cold.
Okay. Too hot, too cold. We got those 2 out of the way.
Number 3.
North Dakota.
There you go. I'm going to go Rhode Island.
Vermont. So you're in the.
Oh, so
there.
close.
They give away like maple syrup, though, in gallons.
That's Canada.
We're on the same page.
in milk in a bag.
And they say it so kindly. They're like, "Hey, trick or treat, eh?"
Number 2.
I'm still going to say my North Dakota. I'm going to get it.
It's not California. I'm going to Oregon.
South Dakota.
Ah.
Well, I know what my number 5 is going to be. I'm going to go North Dakota. What are you going to choose, Officer Brian?
No, this
I
is
think I'm
number
gonna
1.
stick with-
This is
Number 1.
Yeah, rounding it out. Or sorry, this is number 5. You're correct.
Number 5. Yeah, I'm going to say North Dakota.
Yeah.
Scott, you went through this state on your road trip.
Illinois.
Wyoming.
Oh.
Now, Wyoming gives out the least candy because they have the fewest people.
100%.
Yeah.
I think they have their population is like 250,000.
And half of those live in Cheyenne, and the rest are
And the rest are in Evanston.
spritzed throughout.
Yeah.
Casper, Gillette, Wheatland.
Nice.
That's it.
Very nice.
Wow.
But yeah, that's it's funny
States
to
that-
me.
So go over the list one more time, just quickly. These are the states that give out the least candy to trick or treaters.
Yeah, so it's Hawaii, Alaska, Vermont, South Dakota, and Wyoming. So if you live there, come to North Texas, hit me up in the DMs. I'll give you my address. I'll have a horse trough of candy out front.
50 pounds.
And are you?
Oh, they got
And-
500,000.
Are you in Wyoming? Is there? I don't think we have anyone in Hawaii with us tonight. Nobody in Alaska that I'm aware of. Any Vermonters in the house?
Yeah, no one's
the
watching this podcast at 1 PM. I can promise you that. They got better things to do.
I was just wanting an explanation from Vermont. You know, why can't you get it with the program here? But
So I think I might have a little tidbit if I go through this one. Vermont. One might try to argue that it's due to the lack of residents in the state or its location, but the argument would be null and void. Reason being, New Hampshire is right next to it and is number 45 on the states that give out the least amount of candy. So they have the same, they're in the same spot, but Vermont's way worse. New Hampshire. I don't know why.
Donna, you need to do a haunted forest. That'll bring the crowd in.
I wouldn't trust trick-or-treaters coming into the forest.
Yeah.
They're not trick-or-treaters. That's a horror movie.
100%. 100%.
I've seen that show.
But it's,
Josh says, I just want you to know that I said Hawaii before it was announced. Check the timestamp. I've got receipts.
There's a glitch with StreamYard versus YouTube, so it's not going to probably. No, I'm just teasing.
We believe you, Josh. You've been spot on all night.
Donna says, "Don't give my husband any ideas." Yeah, it's really well. I'm sure it happens all over the world, but in our town, there are certain neighborhoods that are known for better candy than others. So kids will just get trucked and bust in to that neighborhood, and it'll just bombard it all night long, and then they'll finally all go away and leave. So they're like, yeah, there's 10% of the neighborhood's kids over here. Well, 90% of kids all of a sudden show up in that neighborhood. It's a mess. We experienced that a little bit here last year, which is wild because we're not a big trick-or-treat neighborhood at all. But wow, did they show up? It was wild. I think we were like one of 4 houses on our street giving out candy out of like 20. We don't have enough for you guys.
We have one other area near us within, 10, 15 miles that gets a ton of pressure trick-or-treating. And that's Jimmy Donaldson's house, Mr. Beast.
Oh,
every year he gives away like a Tesla key or a house or just something ridiculous.
$1 million.
Some 8-year-old who's like, no, I wanted the candy. It's the funniest thing. But
never too old to trick or treat.
I know. I'm seeing if my costume still fits. Swing by the house. At least I've got a Feastable bar. I mean, that's the bare minimum.
Fair.
Yeah.
This year's a little bittersweet because my daughter and her friend want to go trick or treat, but they're at the age where I have to be like, "This is your last year of trying to get away with trick or treating. Do you know that, right?" And she's like, "Well," yeah. I said, "No, it really is because you technically could be driving next year, so you're not going to be trick or treating, especially with a driver's license. It's over. So it's going to be a little bit bittersweet walking around and trick or treating with her and her friend, but it's also different because they're going to be, stay away, you're embarrassing me.
It's your last year to impose the parent tax on the candy as well. So it cuts on both sides.
Got to make sure it's safe to eat.
I'm just going to come confiscate it. I'll be like, we got reports about bad candy. I got to see your candy.
I'll give you a case number when you call the office.
Oh man, I love it. Not Relevant Podcast, Season 2, Episode 40. Officer Brian, thanks for joining us. I hope those of you that got to know him tonight, you get a taste of what he's like. It just likes to hang out and have fun. And Scott, thanks for a fun show and always being here and hosting the show so we can join and have a nice calm Friday Eve.
We needed
ease into the weekend.
Yes.
Weekend starts tomorrow. We're gonna have a huge court date with Sarah Boone. Could be verdict watch. Could be a verdict tomorrow. Of course, I said that this morning. So
good one.
We've got better chances of that tomorrow for sure. So it's gonna be exciting. And either way, this is the highlight of my week. Appreciate hanging out with you guys. Thank you all for being here, especially those who are on the rewatch crew. We sort of don't give you the love that you deserve, but we know you're out there. We know this is a difficult time for many people to watch because you've been with us all day. Some people just need to sleep. Yep. I'm not one of them.
But thank you all for joining us. Looking forward to it. Scott, what time are you going live in the morning? 7 or 8?
They're starting early, so we might have to do like 8:15-ish.
Okay.
Judge says he's going to work early to work on the rules and all that. So. And
then for those that are new, that is Eastern time. So we will see you in the morning. Have a great night, everybody.
We'll see you.
Thank you.